Hello.
Hey, cool. Thanks again for joining.
Yeah, this is cool. Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Um,
Uh,
would you like to go first?
okay. I started writing lyrics and bars when I was 8. My dad gave me a old Walkman because he gave me a bunch of cassette tapes that were like Earl Nightingale because I was getting picked on a lot. And my dad also has autism, so he's like, here's some like life coaching tapes. So I used to walk around my Walkman listening to those, and then I finally realized there was a radio on it, and I listened to KML, and I was like, cool, rap music is the music of God. So I just listened to that all the time and started writing. The first thing I ever did publicly, I was like enter a school like contest, like one of those talent shows, and then I made my own song, and then these eighth graders got up and made fun of everything I did, and I like was like in first grade or third grade so bad, anyways. And then I just like
What?
became, yeah, so then I went deeper in my shell. And then I wrote all the time as like a coping mechanism. So I had like diaries that mostly just turned into like bars and like poetry, but my poems were basically lyrics. So I just
Mm,
did that forever. And then I got into ballet. I did that for a long time. That was a big part of my life, really huge part of my life. And then because I was doing ballet, I was working at this theater because they hired a lot of dancers to do like their box office. And there was like a live dating game, and they were hazing me and made me do it. So I was bachelor number 3. And I like bachelor number 1 had to do spoken word, bachelor number 2 had to do like a song with the band. And then they were like, hey, bachelor number 3, I was like, can I make a request? They're like, no. And they said rap, and I was like, dope, that's what I was gonna do. So I've improv freestyled, and like everyone was like blown away. Jamie DeWolf was there, and he did go battle at Tourette's without regrets. So that's how it got started in earnest. And then like I ended up returning to the cyber because my old ballet coach's brother helped run that. So I went there on the night that they did their monthly tournament, and then I beat that. And like, so I was just like doing things really well, right, and not meaning to. And then I just kind of fell into it. But it turned into something where I was like, oh, I've finally been validated for something I've been doing for myself forever. And it just became like a community for me. Ballet was always like chasing a boy that doesn't like you, and like this is like people acknowledged that I was talented at it and that I had a special voice. So it's been a big part of also just like getting my diagnosis with autism in December. My music reflects a lot of trying to process that. So it's super personal, and to have something that's like personal to me and also kind of natural to me because it's just been part of how I cope with the world turn into music. I taught myself Logic and just kept pushing from there, like doing producing, working with producers now, and yeah, like now starting to get my music really out there. So yeah. um
awesome. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so let me try to say that back. So you first were exposed to music when you were 8, when you got a Walkman from your dad, that had like some like self-help tapes on it. But then you discovered that it had a radio on it. So then you started listening to like hip hop radio stations. And then from that point on, you were like kind of fell in love with hip hop and rap. And you've always used like writing lyrics and like writing poems and stuff in your journal as kind of like a coping mechanism for your life and like living with autism more or less, but you didn't know that you had autism at the time. And so you have like been writing lyrics and poems for basically your whole life. And there have been some big events where you've like performed raps in front of other people. One of them was when you were in elementary school, but then all the middle schoolers bullied you, so that was kind of traumatic. But then you also had some more positive um, events, like when well, I guess this one was also kind of traumatic, but also good. You were getting hazed as a ballet dancer, but then by doing a bachelorette dating game, and then you were the bachelorette that had to rap. So that was awesome, and then you blew everyone away, and I think you might have won that. And then you've also done like rap battles and won those, such as like Tourette's Without Regrets battles. And more recently, you've been trying to like produce more finished songs or like working with producers and, like really like creating records.
mhm. Yep, that's it.
That what I missed.
Like the reason I got discovered was that dating game thing, made a wolf.